The night God was silent, but everything was changing. What if the silence you're afraid of is proof that God is closest? What if the night you cried the hardest was the night heaven moved the most? Have you ever prayed and heard nothing back? No sign, no confirmation, no breakthrough, just silence. Tonight, we step into that silence. And before this message ends, you will understand why God sometimes says nothing. Stay with me. There is a silence that is peaceful, and then there is a silence that shakes you. The kind that makes you question, did I miss God? Did I do something wrong? Did he leave? You prayed for help. The situation stayed the same. You asked for healing. The pain remained. You expected direction. The door stayed closed. And slowly, doubt whispers. Maybe God isn't listening. But silence does not mean absence. Silence tests what noise cannot. When miracles are visible, faith is easy. But when heaven says nothing, faith becomes real. Listen carefully. God never promised constant noise. He promised constant presence. And those are not the same thing. There was a day in history when heaven went quiet. Friday was loud. Crowds shouted. The earth shook. The sky turned dark. Sunday would be louder. But Saturday was silent. Jesus was in the tomb. The disciples were hiding. Hope looked buried. No angelic announcement. No visible victory. Just silence. And everyone assumed it was over. But what they did not know, while earth grieved, heaven was working. While disciples doubted, redemption was unfolding. Silence was not defeat. Silence was strategy. Think about a seed. The moment you plant it, it disappears. If you judge progress by visibility, you would say nothing is happening. But underground, the shell is breaking. Roots are stretching. Life is forming in darkness. The most important work happens where no one sees. Some of you are in underground seasons. Hidden, unnoticed, forgotten. But buried does not mean dead. Buried means planted. Pause for a moment. What if the silence you're in is not punishment, but preparation? What if God is quiet because he is building something so big that if he explained it now, you wouldn't survive the waiting? Stay with me, because this is where everything shifts. Joseph had dreams of greatness. Then silence came. Betrayal, slavery, false accusation, prison. Years passed. No prophetic update. No divine explanation. Just routine hardship. But in prison, leadership was forming. Wisdom was sharpening. Character was strengthening. When Pharaoh finally called him out, he wasn't just gifted. He was ready. Silence matured him for authority. If God had promoted him early, his character would have collapsed under pressure. Silence protects you from premature success. David was anointed king as a teenager. Then silence followed. Instead of a throne, he got caves. Instead of applause, he got pursuit. Years of hiding. Years of running, years of confusion. But in the caves, he learned dependence. He learned worship in isolation. He learned leadership in obscurity. The cave built what the palace required. Your hidden season is not wasted. It is constructing capacity. Let me say this clearly. God does his deepest work in your darkest moments. Silence is often construction noise. You cannot hear. Silence develops depth, endurance, trust, spiritual muscle. Anyone can praise when doors open, but only the strong remain faithful when heaven feels closed. If God answered every prayer instantly, you would trust results, not him. Silence shifts your dependence from outcomes to presence. Saturday did not last forever. Early Sunday morning, the stone rolled away. The silence shattered. Resurrection stepped out. What looked like loss became the greatest victory in history. Every silent season has an expiration date. Every waiting period has a release moment. When God breaks silence, it will be sudden. Doors will open fast. Favor will move quickly. Restoration will surprise people. Because what God builds quietly, he reveals powerfully. Don't misinterpret the quiet. Don't walk away in your Saturday. God is closer in your silence than in your celebration. He is not inactive. He is intentional. This is what you should do when heaven is quit. 1. Stay where you are. Silence doesn't always mean absence. In Scripture, God was silent for 400 years between the Old and New Testaments. Yet he was preparing redemption. Silence is often a season, not a sentence. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46 verse 10. 2. Examine your heart, not God's faithfulness. Ask, am I listening the way God speaks? God doesn't always answer with words. Sometimes he answers with peace, restraint, or endurance. Your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, "This is the way." Isaiah 30 verse 21. 3. Obey the last instruction you received. When heaven goes quiet, don't stop moving. Continue doing what God last told you. Pray, forgive, give, serve, trust. Delayed answers often follow consistent obedience. 4. Let silence mature you. God uses silence to build faith without signs, strengthen character without applause, teach trust without explanations. Though he slay me, yet will I trust him. Job 13 verse 15. 5. Remember, silence preceded the greatest moves of God. Before Joseph's promotion, before David's coronation, before Jesus' resurrection, heaven was silent, then suddenly. 6. Speak when heaven is silent. If God seems quiet, you don't have to be. Declare his promises. Worship anyway. Pray anyway. Believe anyway. Faith is loudest when God seems quiet. 7. Wait, but wait actively. Biblical waiting is not inactivity. It's hope with discipline. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Isaiah 40 verse 31. Final truth. Heaven's silence is never heaven's absence. God may be quiet, but he is never idle. The night may feel still, but everything is changing. If this message spoke directly to your season, comment, "I trust the silence." Share this with someone who feels forgotten. And before you leave, watch the next message on your screen, because your story doesn't end in silence. Sunday is coming. Stay connected, stay faithful, and remember, the night may be silent, but heaven is never still.